got a chance to see The Watchers by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. So I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker myself. We just finished up on a movie with Crispin Glover from Back to the Future. So I'm waiting to... I have another couple of meetings coming up, so exciting stuff. I'm excited about everything that's going on right now. So keep my fingers crossed that something's going to start churning. But in the meantime, remember that I have my card game. It's down to like the last week now. It is Classic Monsters. It is a deck-building card game where you're playing as the classic monsters. But yeah, check that out, and the link is in the description below, so jump on that. Once it leaves Backer Kit, which is where it sits right now, it's kind of like Kickstarter, things will start changing, so it's a good time to jump on it now rather than waiting. All right, so let's jump into talking about the Watchers. So the Watchers, everybody, all the reviews that I have seen were pretty bad. In fact, I'm going to look at Rotten Tomatoes right now while I'm talking to you guys because I didn't. I heard it was low, but I didn't confirm that. So let's talk about how it is. We won't even talk about the Acolyte. I can't wait for House of the Dragon. By the way, all right. So Watchers. So this is the. I wouldn't say it's the debut. It's the feature film debut of M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. So here, okay, yes, I was right. It's 32% critic score. And I don't know, let me see what the audience score is, because that's really the more important one as far as I'm concerned. So I kind of agree with the audience score more than I do the one by the critics. So you could definitely see the M. Night Shyamalan kind of stamp on this. So she's definitely daddy's girl when it comes to this stuff. It has his feel to it, and he produced it as well. So she directed 6 episodes. I think she wrote, produced, and directed 6 episodes of a thing for Apple Plus TV, and you know that it was all nepotism, man. There's no way that a directorial debut is a 6-episode show on Apple Plus TV. So yeah, she's getting opportunities that people like me would never have because I don't have daddy's name. So there's that, and. It's always been nepotism in Hollywood. I shouldn't really complain about it, but I'm just letting you know that, yes. So let's talk about the movie now and how, let me put it this way. I went to see 2 different movies tonight. I also went to go see Firebrand, which I'm going to talk about, and thank God I saw that one second. And I am going to talk about some spoilers here because I really can't talk about the movie without talking about spoilers. But we'll talk about non-spoilers first. So this is about Dakota Fanning's character. She is going through a whole bunch of guilt because she caused the death of her mother. And when she was younger, 15 years prior to the film, she was fucking around in the back seat, and her mother turned around and ended up having an accident that killed her. And she has a twin sister that's back there with her, which she's kind of estranged from because she really doesn't want to deal with anybody. So she has like odd jobs, and one of these odd jobs is working for a pet store, and she has to take this bird that's kind of rare to this house. We never really learn anything about that because she ends up going to the backwoods, and suddenly her car decides to die, and this is all stuff in the trailers. and she ends up at this compound that's a single room house with a window / mirror. So it's a one-way glass wall, and these creatures come out every night to to watch them as if they're reality TV. And it even makes a joke because the only DVD in the house is the DVD of a reality show. So, it is what it is. So anyway, there's a lot of mistakes here because there's rules. They can't go out at night or else they'll get killed. They can't go in these little burrows of what the animals or whatever these creatures are using below the ground to live in. And if they go beyond a certain point where there's signs, there's no way they can get back in time, and they cannot open the door at night as well. But there's no shower here. There's no clothes for them. There's no water. I have no idea how these people live. And one person was there for like 8 months or something like that. That's impossible to go without water for 8 months. That's just not possible. And they hunt little animals and stuff like that are around them to eat. But that has nothing to do with the water. And they're wearing the same clothes. They're not taking baths. There's nothing. And I know for a fact that there's no water around them because I'm going to tell you in the spoiler section. So on the back of my head, I'm going, this is already impossible. So then we find out later, why this whole thing was set up. And then, of course, there's a twist because there has to be a twist to have this thing happen. But for me, the movie didn't even start until the twist happened. We just had, it's a waste of time. We learned everything we need to learn. We don't even, the stuff we need to learn doesn't happen until like the last 15 minutes of the movie. So, yeah. And then, of course, there was no people in front of me in the theater. Nobody. There was a couple of people next to me. They were well behaved. There was people behind me. They were well behaved. So all of a sudden, there's a fucking couple comes in, like the last 20 minutes of the film, sits right in front of me and puts the cell phone up. I had to go out and get security, and then security came in because he refused to turn it off and gave me, I ain't turning off shit, bro. In the middle of the movie, he's doing that. I'm like, can you please turn your phone off? And I said, look, I'm not going to fight with you. I'm just going to go out and get security. Security comes in and has to talk to the guy for like 8-9 minutes. And they were loud. So I missed a portion of this. It's all a thing. But anyway, I'm going to talk about spoilers now because I can't really talk about this much without talking about spoilers. So turn me off, but I'm going to rate this average. This is an average film. It's definitely one that you can get on streaming. It's like a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10. That's only because some of the acting is decent. Other than that, it's, cabin in the woods situation until we get to the end. All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's talk about spoilers. All right, if you're still here, thank you for staying. That means you really don't give a shit one way or another if you haven't seen it or you've actually seen it. So they end up finding this almost a la Lost. They find this hatch under the floor, which was very obvious. All they had to do was take all the carpet off. And the guy was there for 8 months and never moved the carpet. Again, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. They never moved the furniture around because this thing, as soon as they moved the table, this thing, it revealed itself. Such crap, man. So underneath, they find all this food, they find everything else, and they find out that this professor has been living down there, and he captured one of them, and he ended up trying to shoot it and shoot himself, and he has this old computer and whatever else, so Lord knows how he was recording himself on a computer that old. I have no idea. The hard drive space on that could not have been big. But anyway, so he tells them how to get out, and this is how I know there's no water, because the lake is literally right past marker number 134. So that's where they end up going. They go past 134, and they find the lake, they find a boat, and they get out, and that's how they get out of everything. And meanwhile, he told them, if you do leave, go destroy all my stuff. Nobody needs to know about this stuff, etc. So it's at a university. And she even makes, the Dakota fan even says, I can't believe that his office wasn't touched after like 20 years. I don't know. The way that computer was, it's at least freaking, it probably is 20 years. It was like an old DOS system kind of thing. Maybe 2001. So it's got to be 20 years. At most 2005, 2006. So, yeah, we're at 20 years. So his office wasn't touched for 20 years. And then we find out that these things are fey, and that they were trapped in this forest, and they're shapeshifters, and they were trying to learn from them and trying to become them, and all this other stuff. And that one of the this is where the big twist is. That one of the old woman that was with them was actually a fey that was trying to get out. And even having the glass window, he tried to explain how he got people to build this thing for him, and that they all got killed at night. And you can't tell me that the stories from the workers not showing back up after working on this, and the people still kept coming. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. It just took way too much stuff that they're insulting my intelligence. I mean, she was literally insulting my intelligence all the way through. And then, he built this house, but why would he build this house with the window when he couldn't look at them? They could only look at him. It made no sense, man. So, I don't know. It just made no sense. How was he communicating with them? All they went with there was no communication. So at the end, the one that escapes ends up being, I won't tell you the whole ending. So you can just know that they're fairies. That's really all you need to know, is that they're fairies. That's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. But anyway, so it just didn't make any sense. The more you even think about it, the more it's like, what? Huh? I wish they had started with the fact that there may have been fairies that escaped the forest. That would have been, and that they were shapeshifters, that would have been a lot better than them trying to go in the hole and then grabbing stuff out of there. None of that stuff was needed. It didn't matter. It never got used. None of that stuff got used. So, it's a 5. It's a wait for streaming. Simple as that. So, thank you for sticking around. It's based on a book by A.M. Shine. Never read the book. I really don't care to, especially if all these things that I'm questioning are in there. It's not worth seeing. Dakota fan does a good job. It's good to see her back on the screen. I liked her in Equalizer. I wish she had a bigger role in Equalizer. And the other, we have I forgot the Campbell's first name. It's only got like 5 actors in it that really, everybody else like a day player. So Georgina Campbell, she's from Barbarian. She was good. All the actors are good. So I can't understand. I don't know what the budget is on this, but it can't be high because it's very self-contained on purpose. There are obviously effects of creating the monsters and things to that effect. Total gross after 2 weeks, $13 million. Ouch. Nobody is seeing this movie, man. Nobody. So that's worldwide, 13. It only made $9 million here. So her directorial debut is going to be a complete failure. So I'm sure that they're, even though it was low budget, I'm assuming it's low budget because of the contained environment that it is. I'm sure she's still in trouble. Let's see, production budget. Holy cow. It says film with only $70 million. Only. That can't be it. That can't be the right one. It says Watchers 2024, but that can't be right. It cannot be. 30 million. Okay. That's still very, very high. $30 million. So it needs to make $70 million to break even. And she's just broken 10 after 2 weeks. Yeah. It's not been a full 2 weeks, right? Because it was still last week. But it ain't getting $70 million. So she's got her first flop. Well, welcome to the M. Night Shyamalan family. You too can have a flop and still make a ton of money in the future, because we'll keep giving you budgets even if you flop. And that's been M. Night Shyamalan right from the beginning, man. After the first movie, I think Unbreakable made money. After that, it was like flop, 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 and he kept just still getting monies. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Remember to give me a like and a subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. Ring that bell, ding, ding. I am trying to grow the channel out. And remember, too, that in the description below, there's the link for Mythlord's Classic Monsters, where you're playing as Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature from the Deep, etc. You can also, there's also additional characters in here, like Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, Mr. Hyde, Phantom of the Opera, etc. And the artwork is done by Mark Spears. He does a lot of cover art and stuff like that. The artwork is simply gorgeous. And then plus, we do have an expansion of Wizard of Oz. So you can also play as Dorothy, the Wicked Witch, the other witches. Toto's in here, all that stuff as well. Cowardly Lion, Scarecrow, Tin Man, etc. Glinda, all the stuff that you would think. All right, so definitely check that out in the link below. Jump in on that. It's last week, so definitely don't delay. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.